Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel Start English Now. In this video, I'm gonna interview two Australians who are working for startups in New York City. I just wanted to hear from them about what their experience has been like so far in working at startups in New York City, as well as just living in New York City in general. So, if you're interested in coming to New York City or working in New York City as a foreigner, you might wanna watch this video because we're gonna share a lot of our tips to successfully live in New York City as a foreigner. Alright, the conversation was a little bit long, so I edited this video into two parts. In part 1, we will mainly talk about the culture shock that we have experienced so far. In part 2, we're gonna share our cultural tips for whoever who wants to come to New York City and work here. This is part 2. Shall we get started? In America, especially New York City, you have to be ready to pitch yourself.
Yes.
Always, like 24/7. And then, like, I think the most frequent question that I have been asked so far is, so what do you do? Tell me about yourself. And like, if you're not ready to answer the question, they're just gonna walk away.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready, like on point always. I think that it's been a little bit stressful for me, actually.
I remember when I actually got some career advice about my resume and how to write a resume, because I'm aware that in different countries people accept different formats, different styles. So I wanted my resume to get as much exposure and as much reach. So I asked a career advisor, how do people in America format their resumes? And I forwarded her my resume, which I thought was, you know, a nice mixture of formal but ambitious and casual. And she said to me, it's nice, it's really nice, but where is the sell? Where is the glamour? Where is the fire? Why aren't you selling yourself? And I was like,
you gotta sell.
Whoa, this isn't a Broadway show. Like, this is my resume. Like, why would I be? And she's like, we want to see star power. Like, tell us what your best sales have been. Tell us you've been the most outstanding employee in the company, and tell us your biggest achievements. And that's what we want to see in America.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay.
So interesting.
Yeah, whereas in Australia, if you came in and you said, I've got an MBA from this university and I've made this many sales and I'm really successful, it wouldn't be received in the same way. So I think we've had to adapt quite a bit, coming from a culture where we would probably understate our achievements a bit more.
Yes.
In America, we really have to overstate. We feel we have to overstate our achievements a lot more than what we used to. So we all go through this cultural shock and adjustment period where we have to rewrite our resume, redo our elevator pitch, rethink about what our story is about ourselves that we tell people in 30 seconds when we first meet them. And I find that it makes a very big difference in the way that people receive you and who actually wants to talk to you after and actually connect with you and be your friend professionally and personally. If your pitch isn't good enough in 20 seconds and they're not captured by it,
Which is really true.
It's a transactional city. People will just walk away and ignore you. So you have to really make sure. Yeah, they really walk away. So you really have to capture attention.
I think it's almost reflective American culture because there are so many people here willing to fill your shoes. So I feel like New York is somewhere where it's literally like the song, you know, it's a concrete jungle, but it's where dreams are made of. And you need to really promote yourself and sell yourself as a star, because that's when people are going to snap you up like they would an actor or a movie or something. And this is very different for us.
So I recommend that anybody who wants to come to New York City from another culture, especially, like, you guys need to have really good friends.
Yes.
A group of good friends so that you can actually talk about what's really going on in your life. Otherwise, you will be really lonely.
Yeah, that's so true. I think that's the best advice moving to any country also.
Yeah, I remember when I first came to this office and I heard the Australian accent and I heard that Michelle was Australian, and I got so excited because I found a comrade, someone who could guide me through this because it was very foreign. And I would ask her things like, Michelle, I don't understand this, and why is this person saying this to me, and why is my boss reacting to me like this? And she would just turn around to me and be like, Penny, this is America. So yeah, I agree with that. You need some support network for people to just kind of reassure you that you're okay and this is just different.
So you guys got a job I think you guys are one of the luckiest ones because a lot of people want to come to New York and then find a job at a startup company. And what was the process like for you guys? What did you do?
Yeah, I think America has a very different style of interviews to what I'm used to in Europe and Australia. America has a very casual style of interviews and they have a lot of them, so normally around 6 to 12. So I had around six rounds.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 rounds for mine before my co-founder decided to take me on. So it started with 2 to 3 casual coffees for about an hour, and there's no real structure to it. He just casually asked what my ideas for the company would be, what my thoughts are, what I think some of the challenges are, and what would I do if I had the job. And after that, the questions became a little bit more structured in terms of actually putting forward business cases and then asking me to meet other people in the business or asking me to meet some of the advisors. And then after that point, he decided to take me on. And I think that's a fairly common process. It can take anywhere from around like 2 to 6 months to land a job in New York City.
2 to 6 months, guys.
Yeah.
I can't stress enough, like, I think setting your expectations in this city is one of the most important things. I think that when I first came here, I became very frustrated very quickly because in Australia, people tend to get back to you. When you do put out resumes, you do answer all of the criteria, you have to understand that there are millions of other people in this city your age that have your qualifications that want to go for the same job. So as Michelle said, the guideline is 2 to 6 months. And I think that from the very start, you shouldn't be dissuaded if you're not getting responses. I think the best advice I could give is be proactive because anything is possible. And I think I'm prime example of that. I came here, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. So I wanted to work in a business development role. I wanted to work at a company that had something to do with food or events. And I wanted to work with people. So I was an exception to this rule because I tried to be proactive. I tried to set my expectations. I knew that jobs could be hard to find. But honestly, I also think the golden key is timing, and it's a numbers game. I think that if the timing is right and you have been proactive and you've done all the right things, then anything can happen. For me, I applied for a job in my first week while I was here. I had my first interview in my second week, a second interview in the second week, and in the third week I was offered the position.
What?
So please don't be dissuaded because anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Anything can happen.
Wait, but then I think I want to ask you more detailed questions. So which websites did you guys use to find jobs?
I actually only used AngelList, which isn't commonly used in Australia, but it's commonly used in New York and Silicon Valley.
So that's where I found my job, AngelList.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
How did you find out about AngelList?
I actually had some friends who were in the startup industry or who were working at places like Google and one was at Facebook, I think, and they actually said when you're going to New York, you should really be open to using lots of different platforms and channels. So something like Glassdoor, you've got Indeed, Smart Recruiters, but then you also want to be a little bit more focused on what you're after. So if you want a certain position, go for that company. Email their HR. Go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn as well is a great platform. LinkedIn and AngelList are the two that I use the most. But if you have a company that you really want to apply for, then do your research. Go onto LinkedIn, see who works there. As a female, I would generally reach out to other females because I felt like they would really be the ones that would be open to helping advance another female's career. And that was really helpful.
No, definitely too. I definitely really agree with what Penny said. At the end of the day, to land the position I had, I read a TechCrunch article about Sam, found him on LinkedIn, found him on AngelList, but actually what really made me stand out compared to everyone else was that I sent him a private message on LinkedIn to him, and he got that, and that was what he looked at.
So after an interview, I would say always email them feedback
Yes.
saying like thank you for the time and interview, blah blah blah.
Definitely.
Do you guys agree? Do you guys do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's how I got confirmation that I wanted a second interview. So once I had my first interview, which was a FaceTime interview, I responded a couple of hours later and I said, thank you so much. That was really insightful. I really appreciated your time. I really look forward to hopefully seeing you again very soon. And then the next morning he responded and said, we would love to see you soon as well. Let's schedule the next interview. So I think you just need to kind of like put the fishing line out there to really get a response.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with Penny. One of my close friends is a recruiter in New York, actually, and she says that when they've got two candidates who are very equal, have very similar backgrounds, and they don't know who to choose, they simply say, who wrote a thank you email? And the person that wrote a thank you email is one that gets a job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know that it's kind of, it might make you feel really a little bit awkward to just like email them again saying that thank you, because I think as a South Korean we might consider it as like
Pushy.
kind of bugging.
Yes. I actually wanted to add one thing that I've learned about American culture. I think in Australia, people, and in Korea as well, I have a lot of Korean friends, they're very conscious of being polite and very conscious of not being pushy or not imposing themselves. Take that idea and throw it out the window, because that is not America. In America, people expect you to be persistent, pushy, they want you to get your point across. And I feel like my big motto coming to this city, what have I got to lose? Essentially, if I send something out, people can either not reply, or they can reply and say, sorry, we're not interested. Or they can reply and say, we love you. So honestly, I think you've come to this city, you may as well take another leap of faith and just give everything a try, because you never know what happens.
I really hope that our viewers will also appreciate our video and content. And if you guys have any questions or comments on our content, leave us a comment and then we'll try to answer them.
I've always wanted to do this.
We'll try to answer them. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. This is actually her lunch break, and then I just grabbed her
Startup
for like 4 minutes. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good luck.